CT, Danny Liff, and Julizzi boy. We up right now, locking up your Saturday. Tell your bookie send my payment. Lot of opinions, but we only care about one statement. It's Boston Eddie Cappers, yeah. 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 Boston Eddie Cappers, yeah.
Welcome in to the, I guess, Tuesday opener. That's right, baby. It's a Tuesday here. I am your host, Dan Lifshatz, with my partner in crime, Mr. CT Bets. Everyone knows him as Christopher Thurston on Twitter at CTBet16. CT, what's going on, babe?
Popper, good to see you as always. A little different tonight on a Tuesday, but something we've been doing every once in a while this year, and it works out okay. Coming off of a awesome live show at Drifters this past Saturday in Quincy, and Dan, I thought it was one of the best ones we've ever had. A lot of new faces, people that we've never met before, good turnout, and we had an awesome time as always. Drifters, the food was great. Still got people texting me about their smash burgers and flowing like always.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, apologies for the sound issues in that show. It's 100% my fault, by the way. I own it. I figured out what the deal was. My fault. So apologies if you had some sound issues. I will take the L on that one. But yeah, big ups to Drifters. Really appreciate it. Also big ups to VIVA Tequila Seltzer, who obviously we'll talk about too, for sponsoring the show. A lot of fun. It is going to be our last live show for a little bit, as my kid's coming in a couple months here, a couple weeks, I should say. And my wife has told me, hey, no more live shows. I don't want to get sick. We were coming off being sick last week, as you guys know. So going to probably take a little bit of a break of live shows, but don't worry. We're going to be back for playoff football. We're going to be back for February Super Bowl. We'll be back for March Madness. We'll be back for the championship in April. So we're going to do plenty of live shows before I head on over to Charleston, South Carolina. And even then, I'll be back and forth. We'll come back here, do some live shows every couple weekends, have some fun, fuck around with the boys. But I just want to say what's up to everyone. Yeah, there you go. Ray saying, evening, folks. What's going on, Ray? Nice to see you. Tom, good to see you as well. Appreciate you guys, everyone coming in. So let's start a little bit. Let's talk about last week, the Viva thoughts of last week, sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzer, CT. And of course, this Tuesday opener episode of the Boston Handicappers Network is brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, with only 88 calories and a 4.5% ABV. Viva Tequila Seltzer is the most refreshing seltzer out there, clean, light, and dangerously drinkable, made with real tequila and bold flavors like huckleberry and grapefruit. Huckleberry is just fucking phenomenal. Viva pairs perfectly with a winning ticket and some football. And right now, you can get 30% off all orders at vivatequilaseltzer.com using code BOS30 at checkout. Again, that's code BOS30. Make sure to go on over there. Order yourself some fucking Viva. It's delicious. Viva, live long, live well, live it up. Viva. There we go. So let's get in some thoughts, CT. What are your takeaways from last Saturday, Sunday, even Friday, whatever you want to talk about? We can even mix some college basketball in if you're so willing to do that.
I'll do a couple of thoughts from college football, and then you could hit the NFL or the college hardwood if you want. Thought there was two really important statement games that we saw this past Saturday. First one was a game that we watched the first half of. That was the Notre Dame Pitt game. I know Pitt got hurt late with a little flu before the game, but we talked about it, man, and the steam turned out to be true. Notre Dame went in there and absolutely did what Narduzzi said he didn't care if that happened to him, and they beat the shit out of him, Dan.
Yeah.
And that's what Notre Dame needs to do right now, is crush teams and get those style points. And, man, Freeman had them ready to go. We talked about it, would that be a slip-up game for ND? Would Pitt give them trouble? Usually playing pretty tough. Man, credit to the Irish. The other one, Dan, was a game that me, you, and Jules all gave out, and they shoved it in our freaking face time and time again throughout the week. We bet -6. We went back for -4 as well, and that was the Georgia game. And Kirby absolutely owns Sark. Dan absolutely owns him. And what he did to him in the second half and that Texas team, I mean, he shoved it in their face. We talked about how hard it would be to play in Athens, a night game, totally different scenario that Arch has never seen. Those two teams, Dan, I think are going to be very, very dangerous come tourney time.
Interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting one. My takeaway, CT, is a game that we also watched at the bar. And I do want to say shout out to everyone here. Samuel checking in. What's going on? My buddy Jeff talking about his Irish. He is a Notre Dame fan. Irish. There you go. There it is. He tells me to accept his fantasy trade. Sam says Georgia saved my college ball week. I was getting rinsed. Well, glad you listened to the show.
There you go.
Brandon here saying, why is it called football? No fucking idea, Sam. Brandon, you're gonna. I think you might be a bot. I don't know what the deal is there, buddy. But either way, my takeaway is well, I have two. Okay. We'll start with Texas A&M and South Carolina.
Sure.
That was fucking ridiculous. The way that South Carolina blew that game after being up 30-3 at half, whatever it was, absolutely insane. My Texas A&M boys played the worst half of football I've ever seen them play this season, and still found a fucking way to win. Incredibly impressive, grinded out, and now Marcel Reed has his Heisman moment. And so absolutely kind of crazy. Certainly interesting there. My other kind of thought leading into that is, now we're now talking about the Heisman. I see Mr. Mendoza is the pretty heavy favorite right now for, with Indiana. Meanwhile, Julian Sayin, as I talked about, didn't do fuck all again last week. He was terrible in that game, I thought. And Jeremiah Smith is very banged up, guys. No doubt. Bob. Yep. The whole fucking team is banged up. Claire was the only one who was actually okay in that game. And I know actually Innis played pretty well too. He had a bunch of receptions in that one. My buddy, a couple buddies told me to play some Innis over early on, which I had already played because of the injury concerns there to our guy Tate as well. So we got some issues there. But I think right now, the two best bets on the board continuing, I think that Ohio State if you're really interested in playing the Heisman at this point, I think you should play Julian Sayin at 2-1 or better, and I think you should play Marcel Reed at 5-1 or better. I do think those are two still pretty good bets on the board right now. I think one of those two guys is likely going to win, and I think Sayin, I can't believe that I'm here, but I think Sayin's going to fucking win, which I think is so fucking stupid, but we are where we are, and sometimes you just got to take the L and sack up. A few more comments to get to before we get into the rest of the show here. Danny DeVito, first time seeing Dan the man's face. My face is really dry right now. I got a dry skin because I'm not in fucking Charleston and no sun for me. So what's up, buddy? Missed you on the Saturday show with Kendra. I appreciate it, man. I do too. I know Kendra and I had a lot of fun on the Saturday show. Hopefully we'll be able to get that back one day. Our buddy Ross checking in, who is a big CT guy. Kirby, best second half adjustment coach in the country. That's right, he's Ross. Up there. He's up there, man. No doubt about it. Brandon checking. I'm not a bot. I'm not a bot. Okay, Brandon, my bad. I apologize. First, I apologize, buddy. My bad. Reed is nasty. Our buddy Chuck checking in. Tatron's sitting there. I agree. You should.
Yeah, Dan, I was going to say that. Thank you, Chuck, for bringing it up. But talked to my Ohio State Connect yesterday, and he said he'd be very shocked if either play this weekend. And I think we kind of saw that in the line move versus Rutgers.
I agree. And I do think that it will be certainly an interesting one this week to kind of see where the Heisman odds go if Sayin struggles once again. But I still think some interesting spots on the board. All right, let's start to head over to the show. We'll do the record on Thursday. I didn't do the record tonight. My bad. I know we actually did have our first losing week in 6 weeks. CT. It's probably because
a big one though.
It wasn't we didn't lose a ton, but certainly was not a winning week. I blame Jules because Jules is back. Yep. That motherfucker, as you guys can see, no Jules tonight. Jules is taking care of his kids. So me and CT handling all the shit tonight. But CT, before we get started, let's talk about Bet 105.
Yes, this Tuesday opener episode of the Boston Handicappers Network is brought to you by Bet105.ag. With the most competitive odds in the business, go check out Bet105.ag. Be on the lookout for the Boston Handicappers best bet on the site, where Bet105 will be boosting odds on our favorite play each and every week. This past week, we didn't have one. We were going to boost the under from last night's game, which ended up hitting, but the line move was too much for us to do. So couldn't do that. Go check out the player props section where Bet105 is giving out -110 odds on both sides of player props during primetime NFL games as well. An absolute must for prop bettors, bet105.ag, where the pros play.
And Connor checking in saying, keep Jules on the bench. That's not very nice, Connor. That's not very nice. I love my guy Jules. He's just we're just a little cold right now. But anyways, let's get into the moves on the board here. Starting off with some big games, 129-130 UCF, Oklahoma State. See the move from UCF from -16 to -14. Obviously, UCF got their shit pounded in last week, which is not a total surprise. I think you and I both talked about how we liked Texas Tech in that game, and they fucking gave it to them. But that being said, I'm not really exactly a big proponent of this, of this Oklahoma State team. And, they played it pretty well, at least one half of on Saturday. What are your thoughts on this number being 14 right now, CT? And I'll actually pull up the Bet105 odds exactly so we can get a live number, but I would say it's the 14 right now. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so I think it's a little bit of both. UCF getting their shit kicked in last week and Oklahoma State staying pretty close and competitive with Kansas State, something we're not used to seeing from the Pokes this season. They really haven't quit, and I kind of give those kids a lot of credit down in Stillwater. You kind of see the fans, they are the first ones that started them taking off the shirts, wave them in the air. They're still showing up. The kids haven't totally just gave up there and mailed it in. That being said, Dan, I kind of made the number around where it is, 14.5, 15. So not really a game I want to get involved in that really means absolute dick.
Yeah, fair enough. I certainly lean the UCF side. Probably a bit of an overreaction the last week, I think, just because they got fucking hammered by, once again, what we call a wagon in the Big 12 right now. Our guy Sammy checking in saying that was the sweatiest under in history. I'm assuming he means the first quarter last night. Yeah, fucking ridiculous.
Didn't get the game under last night. He hit me up.
Oh yeah, the game under. Yeah, I had the game under too. The not kicking the field goal there was clutch. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Captain Caveman checking in. It was at the live show. Look ahead, boys. Weekend once again. Talk about loading up on Maryland 14.5, Rutgers 31.5. Don't you worry, Captain Caveman. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. The podcast will be out Thursday, episode 17. I can tell you right now, Maryland will be on the card for at least one of us. And for Jeff talking, the prop shop was hit by Hurricane. We're still in the process of repairs there. So everyone be nice to Jules. Jesus. 137, 138, Tennessee, Florida. Tennessee out from a 2 to a 4 right now. And I was a bit surprised by this move, to be honest with you. I certainly lean the Florida side right now. I probably don't think I'll get there unless this gets to a 4.5, which we're seeing right now, bet online 4 -113. So maybe I'll end up getting there. I just don't love this Tennessee team right now, sitting bet 105 -4 -109. 57 is the total. Anything for you in this game early on, CT, especially with the move here?
So I agree with you. Normally a spot where I would like to back the Gators in this one. They gave an effort last week, but they also ended up losing their 7th game, and now they're no longer eligible for a bowl. Fair. And so when these last couple weeks, that's something I really take effect into in my handicap and look at. I was talking to my buddy Marty, who's a loyal listener of this show, who I really respect about this earlier, and we were going over the teams that are fighting for bowl eligibility and not. And the Gators are a team that really have nothing to play for anymore. Coach is fired, kind of a mess. I'm assuming the quarterback probably not going to be there next year. So I can't get behind the Gators. As much as I don't like this Tennessee team, I see why the move has been there and why the Vols are taking a little bit of money. Nothing for me.
Yeah, interesting. I still think Lagway is a really good prospect in terms of quarterback. I don't know if he'll be at Florida. Obviously, no Napier. Should be an interesting one to watch. But yeah, I would tend to agree. If anything, I'd probably bet the under at the current numbers, but no bet for me. So let's move on to another big one, 155, 156, Oklahoma and Mizzou. Oklahoma opens up as a 10-point favorite. We're down to 8. Right now, bet 105 is actually down to 7.5, I believe. Yep, 7.5 -106, 42.5 is the total your CT. So I don't know about your thoughts here. I liked Oklahoma. I like Missouri at 8.5. I did not play it, but that would be the way that I would lean in this game, especially Oklahoma coming off what is a massive win. And we have heard some rumors that Bo Pribula could be coming back sooner than thought. I don't know if I like that or not, but either way, certainly an interesting one to discuss. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, same as you. Kind of upset with myself that I missed the opener. Circa opened at 10, actually, that we could have grabbed. Now, at the current number, not sure I want to get involved, but you're right. I mean, it's a classic letdown spot, and it's a noon game, right? OU coming off a massive win versus Bama. And, that's one where OU wins out, most likely going to punch their ticket into the big dance there. But, yeah, at 8 and the quarterback's questionable here. I don't know who I'd be more comfortable with, the freshman or Bo at this point.
Yep.
So now that 10's gone, nothing for me.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think they good bet on whoever took the early numbers there. Do you have a question from Roy Connor? Do you guys have any Kiffin info? I don't have any Kiffin info. I have been asking around. Maybe I'll have some for tomorrow night. I can't promise anything. Hopeful to have some for tomorrow night. Got Captain Caveman checking in Tennessee under 8.5, looking good. Facing a Vandy team. Yeah, so they have to face Vandy and Florida at the end of the year. Not an easy schedule spot for Tennessee here. If you have Tennessee under 8.5, might be a decent thought process. If you want to play the double here, you can play Tennessee money line or Tennessee whatever, and hope they win the game and hopefully lose to Vandy and play a little double there, because if they lose this week, they go under. So there you go.
I got a little. I mean, it's tiny.
Yeah, hit me. I'm always interested for Nuggets,
and they're from pretty reliable sources, and both of them don't think that Kiffin is going to be at Ole Miss next year. And if that's the case, do not believe that he'll be coaching in the playoffs this year.
Interesting. Okay. So, that is something that's interesting. I'll put out the one thing I had heard. I had heard that this is that very much Kiffin, that I had heard the opposite. I heard that Kiffin is staying and they're fucking with the other schools to kind of expose them, kind of hurt them in situations. I don't know. Again, I don't trust the source greatly, which is why I didn't want to throw it out there too much. But certainly some fun. This is going to be a fun one to watch. Where Kiffin,
and when there's smoke, there's fire, right? So 100%. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he stays, right? And it wouldn't shock me if he goes.
I completely agree. So I have no info. I wouldn't
don't give a shit either, to be honest with you.
100%. That's the other part of it. I don't give a fuck. But I put out a few feelers just because I'm interested.
Yeah.
So let's head over to the NFL moves here. 111, 112. Bills, Texans. Number moves from 3.5 to 6. This was a release from a pretty sharp service early in the week at 3.5. I did play Bills 3.5 because of that.
Thanks for there when you played it.
It moved right away. There's
partners are 4.
No way to do anything with that one because it moved right away. CT went to 4.5. There was no way I could even help you on that one. Trust me. But I'll tell you this: Stroud out up to 6. I think this number is still short.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think this number is still short. I would lean Buffalo short week. And honestly, this sounds kind of crazy. Must-win game almost for them. And I'll explain why on the podcast tomorrow. I'm not going to get too more into it. This one, 257, 258, Raiders, Browns.
Can I give a small little thought here?
Oh, please feel free. Sorry.
No problem. This is a game that you and I disagreed with last weekend. You didn't play it, but I played Bills. You leaned Tampa.
Yep.
And Dan, that's second half Josh, what we saw on Sunday. And I think we're going to see that a lot more through the end of this regular season. Coming off that embarrassing loss in Miami, everybody kind of shitting on the Bills. What happened? How did they lose that game? Well, you and I know what happened. That's an in-division game, traveling down to Miami. It's the NFL.
AFC East always blows down there, always and forever. Yeah.
You can't put too much stock into that loss.
Agreed.
That was very impressive from Josh Allen this past Sunday. I will say that. Very impressive.
I agree. Our buddy Tim checking in saying, was told this morning that Kiffin doesn't take the LSU job. Dillingham and Levitt to LSU is the move to keep an eye on. I mean, look, we have seen an Arizona State quarterback go to LSU, win the Heisman, and become a pretty big success in the NFL. So I'm just saying that would be certainly interesting. Our guy Ray checking saying he likes the Texans. I get it. Short week.
Sure.
I don't love it there again, especially a weaker run game against the Bills, who really have struggled against the run. It's the way to beat them this year. I would like the Bills in that game. All right, 257, 258, Raiders, Browns. I think this one did move back a little bit, so I'll double check here before getting into it. But I think this one is sitting 3.5 now. So let me double check here. But either way, Shedeur Sanders getting his first NFL start. Yeah, this is now sitting 3.5 CT. Total in this game sitting 37. I still like the Raiders here. I played a little Raiders 315 today. This was a release too. I played away before that. But Shedeur Sanders is I mean, look, he had 3 drives in the game the other day. 2 drives looked terrible, just horrible. Looked like he was CFL. 3rd drive, he looked like he put a little bit together, little juice, and then collapses per usual. Outside of Jacina Anderson, I don't think there's anyone in the world who thinks this is a good idea for him to play. I will say I like the Raiders here. I think 3.5 probably still short. We'll talk about that one in depth tomorrow. Do you have anything in this one?
No, I totally agree with you. I like the Raiders there in that game as well. I mean, yeah, he threw a couple of decent balls, but man, I mean, I think any NFL defense right now is going to eat him alive. Sorry, I'm just plugging in here, hardwired.
You're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, I'm with you. It's Raiders there for me. Didn't play anything, but that's the way I would look there.
Yep. And then finally, big moves, 259, 260, an obvious one. Falcons against Saints out from 2.5 down to a 2-point dog here. Obviously, it's the Penix injury. Kirk Cousins going to get the start for the Falcons. I got to be honest with you. I think this move is flat out incorrect. Like I disagree with this move. You have anything in this one?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think it's a little ridiculous that it flipped to Tyler Shuck laying points here in this game, because we really haven't seen too much from the Saints outside of what was it, a little over a month ago when they won that game versus the Giants, where we actually had the Saints in that one. Cousins is capable. I know everybody likes to shit on him, but I mean, yeah, I think talent-wise and on paper, Atlanta is, dominant on paper in this spot here. I don't really agree with the move.
Yeah, and again, obviously, no Drake London. I think that probably contributes to it as well. He's out with the PCL injury, but I mean, again, like I still think this is probably too low. They'll feed Bijan a million yards. Yeah, he's gonna have 1 million catches. Probably a decent ladder early on in the week for prop over. So, anyways, let's head over to the games of the week. CT brought to you by Juice Reel, and of course, this Tuesday opener episode of the Bossing Handicappers Network is brought to you by Juice Reel. The world's first transparent betting marketplace is finally here. No more scammers. If you believe you're a winner, simply sync your sports books to the app, and all your plays will be shown for everyone to see. Want to find the best bettors instead? Everyone's bets are ranked and records are legitimate. You can access the top Juice Reel members' plays through the app if you want to tail someone or get paid if someone tails your bets instead. You can also find 1 to 2 exclusive bets from the Bossing Handicappers on the Juice Reel app each and every week that won't be given out on the podcast. I would expect to have one tonight or tomorrow. By the way, it'll probably be tomorrow. Don't worry, they're free. Just go download the Juice Reel app and add the Bossing Handicappers as friends via the link provided in our Twitter profile. If you can't find it, DM me or Jules or CT. Any questions, feel free to DM us. Juice Reel, where transparency is king, and we will provide that for you. And I'll get the old Juice Reel app logo up here. Let's start off here with the games of the week, and big one in the Big 12 here, CT. 135, 136, BYU and Cincinnati. 2.5, 54 is the current number in this one. Was 2 minus 52. Does feel like Pryor is going to play this week for Cincy, so a bit of a boost there, CT, but for the most part, not a major move, not major anything really. What are your thoughts in this game, if you have any?
I kind of like the Bearcats, and as bad as they looked the past few weeks, this is a spot Saturday night, the 8:00 game, where I think this will be another time where I want to fade BYU.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's on its way to 3, Dan. And once it hits 3, I'll be involved on the Bearcats. I feel like we saw the real BYU versus Texas Tech a few weeks ago, and I get it. Texas Tech is very good. But Texas Tech did not play very well in that game.
Yep.
And they absolutely controlled the entire game and dominated that game and did not play well. I think this is a tough task for BYU with the freshmen that go into Cincinnati. We saw spurts of the Bearcats earlier this year. They're more than capable of taking care of good teams. And you got to imagine that place will be rocking and rolling. So as soon as that hits 3, I'm sure tomorrow night when we're talking on the pod, we'll probably see some 3s hit. I'll be on the Bearcats.
Narbad, Sammy checking in saying he loves Cincinnati, loves them. The old Cincinnati Ray likes the line telling Cincinnati short, stick a fork in BYU. So I would tend to agree. I mean, again, I don't love the situational spot for BYU, especially being on the road away from Provo. Cincy coming up really weak. I think this is honestly a relatively big game for them to stay in that Big 12 hunt. It's kind of a relatively big game for both teams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would say, and Bachmeier has not been great on the road. He's been certainly lesser than what he's been in some of the other spots here. So I would tend to lean Cincy. A little too early for me. I'll probably have a better read on this one tomorrow. I'll do a little digging. But this is probably not one I'd end up being the window with either way. Let's move over to probably what is considered the game of the week in college football, 181-182, Oregon and USC out to 9.5 minus 115. 59 is the total. Let me double check the live odds here on Bet 105. We're actually out to 10-101 here on Bet 105. Again, 59.5 still the total. CT, I know you played this one early in the week. Why don't you tell us your thoughts in this game?
Yeah, first game and only game that I played so far this week, and that's the Ducks. Bet at minus 8.5, bet more 9 as well, and I'm okay with giving this one out on the show here. Ooh. Minus 9.5, show play for me. Viva Las Vegas on the Ducks. Dan versus my Trojans, who just cashed the over 7.5 win total for us. I didn't watch much of that game, Dan, the USC Iowa game. Yeah. Because after I left Drifters, I was going to the BYU UConn game, was at a bar. They didn't have that game on TV. Talked to my Iowa guy a lot after the game. Haven't got a chance to rewatch it, Dan. I don't know if you have yet or
I have not. It's on my list to watch tomorrow, actually.
Apparently, there were some really, really bad calls against Iowa that benefited USC. Iowa got really banged up in the game. USC looked like trash in the first half. And it's unfortunate that for Iowa backers and Iowa fans on Saturday that to get the calls that they got because they were right in that game and controlling that game. And it's probably a game we got, if you had the USC over 7.5, got pretty lucky to cash, Dan. Glad we got that one before having to take this trip out to Oregon this weekend here. Glad it's done deal, over with. Know how I feel about Lincoln Riley when he has to travel. I think this is going to be a lot to ask for them. Dan Lanning, as much as I give them shit, they usually take care of games that they're supposed to take care of. And I think this is a game that they're supposed to take care of. Line is pretty telling. The market agrees with us. Oregon's taking money. I could see this thing popping 10.5. Not sure if we'll see a buyback on USC, but I think this is a game where Oregon's defense and coaching is going to be too much. Yeah, USC's offense is great, and they're going to be able to score and move the ball. But at the end of the day, when the buzzer rings, I think that the Ducks are going to be able to not only win this game, but cover this game pretty comfortably here. So I made the game like 11.5, 12. So anything better than that is a play for me. So I played minus 8.5, minus 9, and I'm okay with minus 9.5 too.
Yeah, normally this would be our game on paper play of the week, or we probably break down this game. Unfortunately, game on paper out because the DDoS attack this morning. So no game on paper breakdown this week. Sorry, guys. But we do have a lot of comments on the game. Ray talking about, lean USC. Interesting thought there from Ray. Sammy 100% agrees with UCT. Iowa put the boots to them, pulled it up because Iowa choked it away. Again, haven't watched the game and I didn't get to watch a single minute of this game. So certainly one going to be interesting. Tim, Quack, quack. Sick and tired of hearing Lincoln cry every postgame because he thinks his team is so physical and tough. I agree with that one.
I agree with that.
I'm fucking sick and tired of hearing about Lincoln Riley and his fucking thoughts on this one. Chuck, the alt Oregon line we played. I think if you like Oregon in this one, and I think you think they're going to end up covering this one, I'd be looking at 14.5, 17.5, those type of numbers. If you think this is going to be a blowout, I would tend to agree there, Chuck. Jeff checking again. No, Jordan's had no business winning the game. USD almost backdoored it too. Again, I'm kind of excited to watch this game. Tim, I think Oregon run scheme could be equivalent to what Illinois and Iowa produce, straight at the backers and not outside the bump. So that would be interesting if they can run it down USC's throat.
USC a lot of trouble.
I mean, again, and I my guess is that's probably where Iowa had some success with Moulton last week.
Yeah,
have not gotten to watch the game.
Moulton got hurt, unfortunately, too. Partner, very questionable for this weekend.
Heard that.
They have Sparty. They should be able to take care of business because it's running back you there, but unfortunate for a kid that's been having a hell of a year.
What are your thoughts on the on that number out to 17 now? Do you have any thoughts on that one, CT, or are you sticking with whatever's there?
I mean, it's tough not to like Sparty getting all those points, right?
Yeah.
God, Iowa got pretty banged up in that game, and that's back-to-back losses. I think that might be a little too much for Iowa to ask Iowa to cover that number. Although, it's in Connect, so
who knows?
Not a game I'll probably be involved in, to be honest with you.
I do agree with Jeff. Landing equals WC James Franklin. Whatever. There is again, there is a 9.5 right now in DK. There is a 9.5 minus 112 at bet 105 as well. There are 9.5 minus 112.
Yeah, sharp me minus 9.5 for the show to play minus 112. Yeah.
So we do have a question there about the Bills' futures going forward. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. I know Steph has been trying to ask that for a couple weeks now. We'll get to that at the end of the show. Let's move over to the next game here. 187, 188. SMU and Louisville. One I had circled this week. I think it's a pretty big game, especially in the ACC here. SMU certainly sitting 2.553. I'll get the live bet 105 line for you guys right now. Yeah, minus 2.5, minus 117. Total's actually dropped. We're sitting 52.5 right now on the total. So a bit of a drop on the total there. But yeah, look, I mean, Louisville. Look, I have not been high on this Louisville team all year. We finally saw them drop a big game the other week in pretty bad fashion, the Cal, and they followed that up with a 2019 loss to Clemson, going off as a favorite at home, lost that Friday night game outright. I haven't thought much of Louisville this year. Going into SMU, here's my problem. I don't think much of SMU either, and I do think this number is, the threes were certainly interesting. I probably would have taken Louisville 3. I would not be on the SMU side at this point. SMU has been an absolute fucking wagon of losing money this year. I'm sick and tired of this fucking team. I don't think they're very good. I think they're probably overrated. I think the power rating is probably even still a little bit overrated. 3 probably would have been a play for me. 3s are pretty much washed out almost everywhere. If it gets back to 3, 115 probably a small play for me with Louisville. What are your thoughts on this one, CT?
Yeah, I agree with you. Gets back to 3, which I think there's a good chance it might. Louisville would be a play for me. I just think that I agree with you, even though the SMU's coming off a loss, and I think they won their 2 before that. One of those was it the Miami game 2 or right? No, Clemson. I'm sorry.
Clemson and Cal
2 games ago. Then probably a cupcake, and then the bye. They're playing a little bit of better football here. But let's face it, like, as much as this Louisville team, we've been dragging them a little bit this year, SMU's just kind of been a disaster. Like, Rhett Lashley just can't get out of his own way right now, and this is a noon game here. Seeing money coming in on SMU and the lines going down, I don't know, a little bit telling to you.
Yeah, no, I would certainly tend to agree with that one, CT. So I not one I'm super interested in. Tim, SMU is Tylenol Baylor. I would tend to agree. Baylor is an absolute fucking disaster. Let's head over to the NFL here, CT. Let's talk about NFC North battle this week. 251, 252, the Packers and Vikings. Packers minus 6.5. 41 is the current total. Obviously, the Packers won on Sunday, did not cover. I guess it depends where you got the
Yeah, it
line.
depends where you play
But
it.
I'd say for 90% of the people did not cover. It was 7.5 all week. I think it closed 8 actually was the closing number there. But yeah, it's not I don't think they covered most. Obviously, the Vikings, we were all over them. They showed an absolute nothing against Caleb Williams and Peyton Dales and the Bears. Not a fun game to be a Vikings backer. Just again, you're getting this inconsistent JJ McCarthy, which is not to be completely unexpected. He is essentially a rookie this year, although I know he was drafted last year, but he's essentially a rookie because of the lack of games played. So the inconsistency is to be expected, but man, it is really disappointing seeing how bad he is at times. He just looks completely lost at times and pretty bad. So Packers 6.5 here, 41 the total. CT, what are your thoughts?
How about this one? Okay. JJ McCarthy didn't complete his first pass in the second half until 3 minutes left in the game.
That's fucking crazy.
That's how bad he was, man. It's embarrassing. I mean, some of those balls he threw were just godright awful. The Packers, on the other hand, Dan, are really banged up, man. They got injury problems left and right. Now they're 0-6 now this year against the spread, -4, laying 4 or more. This is an in-division game. I got to think that the Vikings, we see a better effort out of them. JJ is probably going to be better here. This is getting to the point where, as banged up as the Pack are here, I don't think they should be laying that much. I think that this line should be probably closer to 3.5, 4. The only side I could have as of right now would be the Vikings, and it's not a play.
Yeah, at 7 might be a little interest. I might take a little nibble there. You see our guys, Captain Cayman. Speaking of disasters, I give you Green Bay, Minnesota. Love can't complete a pass. JJ, the top 10 most confused people in history. Totally fair. Minnesota Green Bay is brutal. It's a big game though for both these teams. Jordan Mason have a good day. Interesting. I'm not sure I totally agree with that. I like under in this game. I think you probably see a lot of sacks, a lot of bad offensive line play, and a lot of good defensive line play. I do think maybe some turnovers here, a couple interception props. I would lean Vikings at 7. I think it'd be, again, a little nibble there for me. I'm going to give you a play that I do like here, CT. 253, 254. Chiefs and Colts. We're now sitting Kansas City -3, 50.5. Obviously, last week, Kansas City gets beat once again, right? Yep. I mean, not exactly a surprise. Denver is just good, man. Denver's really good. I know everyone hates Bo Nix. Everyone in the sharp space, everyone and their mother fucking hates Bo Nix. He keeps finding ways to win in big games against big time teams. So I like Bo Nix. I'll keep liking Bo Nix. You guys can keep hating him. It's fine with me. But what are your thoughts? Colts being a short 3-point favorite here against this
Chiefs
really good. Sorry, the Chiefs being a 3-point favorite here against this really good Indy team. What are your thoughts here?
Usually we agree in spots like this. I'll go first.
Yep.
Give me KC here, -3 in the short number versus this fraud Colts team that has to travel to KC. Show play. Dan, come on, let's be serious here. Danny Dimes isn't going into Arrowhead and winning this game. Like what we're gonna see on Sunday is the real Chiefs here, and we'll get a good game plan put together. I know the weapons really haven't been there for 15, but he's gonna find a way and find his guys this weekend here, get a much needed win, get them above 500. They're gonna make the playoffs and they're gonna make a run. And you could bet your ass that no one wants to play this team come playoff times if they get there, which I think they will when they get there. So now we'll take the discount from them, choking away games here and losing games that they probably should win. So we'll take the Chiefs here -3.
There you go. Let's bring it.
The team.
So look, I'm in agreement here. I think this has got to be a big time Kansas City spot. I do think, and I do agree with Ray here, that the Colts are good. I agree. I do think the Colts are good. I think Danny Dimes has kind of been rejuvenated by the offense. I think the fact that he has a million different passing options, it isn't, doesn't have 30 seconds to throw. Man, I do think that that's really, really valuable. But if I told you Daniel Jones is only 3-point dog to Mahomes ever in Kansas City too, Connor, Dan would call me an idiot. I agree. I would definitely call you an idiot. Look, I'll say this.
I gotta go play this myself. Jesus Christ.
If Kansas City doesn't win this game, look at the remainder of their schedule. The week afterwards, they're on the road against Dallas. They then have to face Texans. Stroud will be back in 2 weeks. They have a divisional game against the Chargers. They're on the road against the Titans. That should be an easy victory. But it's a sandwich spot between the Chargers and the look ahead against the Broncos. That's a must-win situation against them, potentially to make the playoffs. And they finish with the Raiders, a divisional game in Vegas to potentially make the playoffs. They have one easy game. Everyone's going to call the Raiders an easy game. That's in Vegas, a divisional game. We've talked about how many times divisional game is different. These teams play each other very differently in those type of games. Look, they don't have any easy games outside of the Titans. They got one win. They got to rack up a few W's here, and they have been brutal on the road this year. I mean, just absolutely brutal. Didn't beat the Bills, didn't beat the Broncos. They couldn't beat Jacksonville. They are having a very difficult time winning on the road against even semi-playoff teams or borderline playoff teams. This is a massive game for them. There's no doubt about it. I don't feel great about them against Dallas on a short week either, coming off of this game too, CT. So that's a Thursday night game as well. That's the Thanksgiving game.
Yep,
so like, and we always know Dallas is always up for that Thanksgiving game. This is if Kansas City doesn't win this game, I don't think they're making the playoffs. I think this is basically a playoff game. Yeah. So it's a massive game for them. That's why I'm on Kansas. Yeah.
It is disappearing.
And they are disappearing. I would tend to agree. They're still out there, but disappearing. All right, let's move over to the next one. 261, 262. Eagles and Cowboys. Eagles are currently a 3.5-point favorite. 47.5 is the total. I'll update that. 47 is now the total. So that little drop on that number there since I put these in at Bet 105. So 47, the new total for Eagles Cowboys. CT, I'll start with you. Any thoughts in this one?
Well, my first thought is that the Philadelphia Eagles defense is playing at an absolute elite level right now. And we saw that on Sunday night, Dan. I mean, yeah, the Lions D played great as well. But what the Eagles defense did versus that high tempo and that Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down, which you and I were like texting each other being like, okay, enough is enough. When is it going to get to the point where he's like, okay, what the fuck am I doing here? And I'm being irrational, because that's where we're at right now with Dan Campbell and the offense. And Vic Fangio, Dan, we talk about it, man, all the time. Probably one of the best top 3 defensive coordinators that this league has ever seen. And you're going to give me, the champs with that defense playing at an elite level. This team could be absolutely dangerous again. I like what we saw at Dallas last night, but, let's not kid ourselves. That's versus a Raiders team that is pretty much waving the white flag here. So I don't know how much stock we could put into that. Do I want to go in and lay 3.5 on the road here in division? Not really sure, but that would be the side I would lean as of right now. Probably a game I won't get any which way involved in.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to be called a scumbag for this, and I honestly don't really give a fuck. Last night was an emotional, situational spot for Dallas, coming off the travesty that happened to Marshawn Nealand. That was a spot bet for Dallas, and I actually talked about it in the podcast last week. I did end up on Dallas, even though I kind of liked Vegas by the end of the number, but I did end up betting Dallas -3, -120 in that game because I couldn't find any 3.5 even money, or I would have bet that, but did end up betting on Dallas just because of the, again, situational tragedy spot. I think all his teammates are probably up for him. I thought it was very odd that they didn't start Lamb or Pickens in the first quarter there, or first drive.
Out late and at Barry's, and then hit the town for a little bit.
Yeah, which is just
not surprising.
Fucking idiots. Jesus Christ, just stay in your lane. All right. So there we go. Let's move over. 263, 264, Rams and Bucks. This This is going to be an interesting one to me. Right now, Rams -6.5, -112 over at Bet 105. 49 is the total. So this number has also dropped a little bit. That number is juice. It's 49 -114 at Bet 105. So 49, 49.5, right around there. Rams massive win again last week. Found a way to beat Seattle, even though Seattle had a chance to get that W. Couldn't pull it off. Bucs, a huge loss last week. I think this is a huge game for the Bucs. Carolina is catching up on them damn quick. What are your thoughts on this one, CT?
Yeah, I think it's a massive game for Tampa Bay as well, because that would be 3 in a row. You lose at home versus the Pats. You go to Buffalo, you lose that one, and now you go to LA and you lose that. I'd be a little bit worried there if I was Tampa Bay, because the wheels are kind of coming off a little bit. And as you said, people are catching up pretty quickly. Rams playing at an elite level right now. Almost blew that game. Found a way to get it done here. Stafford looks dangerous, man. This one gets the 7, Dan. I feel like I'll be involved in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think I will be too, especially primetime game, big time spot. This is a Mayfield type spot. And yeah, I've seen this too a lot. I've seen a lot of LA, a lot of Rams power rated #1. They're not, but I get it. They're close. It's up there. They're obviously the trendy Super Bowl pick right now. I understand that as well. So look, it is what it is. Whatever. I understand it. Whatever. I do want to go back, CT. Before we end this show, we have gotten this question 2 weeks in a row, so I do want to answer that. What do you guys think of Bills' futures going forward? I'm assuming he means division, win total, Super Bowl, whatever. I'll tell you this. I think the team's clearly taking a step back. They're clearly not as talented as they were last year. I think it's evidently especially on defense. Like, it's evident, especially on defense, where they're trying to stop the run. They just don't have the ability to do it. Even when Milano is there, Milano makes a major difference in that defense. I still don't think they're as good. Look, I love Josh Allen.
Defense is a problem. The Bucs had their way with them in the first half, man.
Yeah, and again, that's just in the playoffs. It's not going to hold. I think this is a bit of a mess for them. Yeah, I would be out on the Bills moving forward. If you're looking at a Super Bowl or like a Bills Super Bowl future, I would have I wouldn't say no interest, but I would probably need a better number than what's currently being dealt in market to really have serious interest in playing. Honestly, that's my opinion. So I'll say this too. I don't like the Chiefs either. I don't like Kansas City, and I don't like Buffalo. For the first time in a long time, I don't like either one of those teams. I would be looking at Denver, New England, Baltimore. Yeah. I mean, those are the three I'd probably be looking at right now in current price. And
Baltimore,
New England sounds crazy to me because I can't believe how well they're playing. And I don't believe that they're going to continue playing that well against good teams. Like, they only have like one win against a legit playoff team. You could argue Tampa Bay was too, but like, it's hard to doubt them. Like, I don't want to be a doubter of them anymore. I just don't. I'm off that train. I'm off doubting them, but like, it's also hard to believe in them. So it's a weird spot to be in. I think Denver and Baltimore are certainly interesting spots for me, CT. I think that's probably where I'd be looking at this point in terms of value. I think that's it for us, unless anyone else has anything. Do you have anything else?
That's it. We're back for a long one tomorrow night, and we'll be out on Thursday.
There you go. So we will we'll be back tomorrow night. Great show tonight. Appreciate everyone who joined us. Please like and subscribe our YouTube page. Follow us on Twitter. Do whatever. Please feel free. You can always DM us any questions you have. We'll definitely get back to you. May not be the day of, but we'll definitely get back to you eventually. So appreciate everyone watching tonight. We'll cash some tickets and we'll catch you all tomorrow. Let's go Orlando Magic, who we did give out today on the Twitter page as well. And we'll talk to you Thursday with episode number 8, or I think 17, episode number 17. Let's go.
Cash them.